Have you ever thought some of the rarest films on Earth were lost to history or locked behind expensive services? What if I told you YouTube has quietly made a selection of these impossible-to-find movies available to watch for free, legally, officially, and with no subscription required? Today we count down 12 such hidden gems now free to stream. Number 12, Eegah, 1962. In the annals of cult cinema, Eegah occupies a peculiar yet fascinating niche. Released in 1962 and directed by Arch Hall Sr., this low-budget science fiction adventure has endured not because of its technical prowess, but because of its earnest strangeness. YouTube now features the film in its entirety, uploaded through channels that curate public domain and officially shared content, all allowing modern audiences to experience this unique specimen without cost. The narrative of Eegah revolves around a prehistoric giant, played by Richard Kiel, who emerges from the wilderness to disrupt the everyday life of a typical American family. The film makes no effort to disguise its shoestring production values, but therein lies part of its charm. Sets creak under their own weight, performances fluctuate between stilted and enthusiastic, and the musical interludes feel ripped from a contemporaneous teen dance revue. What might have been intended as a straightforward genre picture instead became an accidental time capsule of early 1960s pop culture sensibilities. YouTube's free version includes the full feature, often with original trailers and posters in the description, all making it easier for film historians and casual viewers alike to contextualize the material. For decades, Eegah was hard to locate without purchasing worn VHS tapes or rare DVDs. Now, it can be streamed with a simple search. The film's renewed accessibility underscores YouTube's emerging role as an archival platform, one that fills gaps left by conventional streaming services. For anyone curious about offbeat cinema or the history of genre filmmaking, Eegah offers an unforgettable experience. At 12 on our list, it exemplifies how impossible to find is increasingly becoming impossible to ignore. Number 11, Girl Walks Into a Bar, 2011. Girl Walks Into a Bar occupies a singular place in film distribution history. Conceived as an ensemble black comedy funded for free release on YouTube, this 2011 project challenged traditional release models long before streaming dominated the industry. Instead of premiering exclusively in theaters or behind subscription walls, the film debuted online with the intent of reaching the broadest possible audience, gratis. Its current free availability on YouTube preserves that original mission, offering viewers worldwide unfettered access to its interwoven stories of love, lust, and misadventure. Directed by Sebastián Gutiérrez, the film weaves together multiple narrative threads in a style reminiscent of Robert Altman's ensemble works. Set against the backdrop of a single night in Los Angeles, characters intersect in bars, apartments, and city streets, revealing intimate conflicts and comic misunderstandings. Actors such as Carla Gugino and Rosario Dawson bring depth to the script's sharp dialogue, ensuring that the film's texture resonates even a decade after its release. What makes Girl Walks Into a Bar truly notable is not only its narrative ambition, but its distribution philosophy. At a time when YouTube was known primarily for short clips and user-generated content, here was a full-length feature embracing the platform as its home. That proved visionary. Today, finding a legitimate, free, high-quality copy of this film used to require digging through obscure links or pirated sources. Now, YouTube hosts it with annotations and links to related official content. For students of digital film distribution, or anyone interested in narrative cinema that breaks molds, this film stands as a testament to innovation. At number 11 on our list, now it reminds us that accessibility can be as important as artistry. Number 10, Life in a Day, 2011. At number 10, Life in a Day represents not a single story, but a mosaic of human experience. Conceived as a global documentary project, this film invited thousands of contributors to record their lives on a single day, July 24th, 2010. The resulting footage, shot in dozens of countries, in myriad languages and perspectives, was curated by directors Kevin MacDonald and producer Ridley Scott into a cohesive portrait of humanity's ordinary and extraordinary moments. The power of Life in a Day lies in its scale and intimacy. On YouTube, where the film is now accessible for free, viewers encounter a breadth of human emotion captured in everyday actions. Families preparing meals, couples embracing in foreign capitals, individuals dancing alone in their rooms, and voices capturing personal reflections on life, love, fear, and hope. What emerges is less a documentary in the traditional sense and more a collective testimony to what it means to be alive at a particular moment in time. For years, the only ways to view life in a day outside festival screenings were expensive DVDs or limited digital rentals. Its free presence on YouTube democratizes access, allowing educators, students, and curious viewers to engage with a project that highlights global diversity and shared humanity. The documentary's format also presaged later trends in participatory media, where audiences are not merely consumers, but essential contributors to the art itself. At number 10, Life in a Day exemplifies the kind of cinematic experience that merits preservation and wide dissemination. Its free availability on YouTube transforms a once elusive title into a resource for learning, reflection, and appreciation of the world's myriad voices. Number 9, Michael Collins, 1996. Number 9 on our list is Michael Collins, a gripping historical biopic that brings the turbulent early 20th century Irish struggle for independence to vivid life. Directed by Neil Jordan and starring Liam Neeson, Alan Rickman, and Julia Roberts, the film dramatizes the life of revolutionary leader Michael Collins, whose vision and sacrifice shaped modern Ireland. For years, finding a legitimate copy outside of Divid collections or paid streaming platforms was a challenge. Today, YouTube hosts the film for free, and offering a remarkable opportunity to witness this cinematic portrayal without financial barriers. The film's narrative is both expansive and intimate, balancing grand historical events with personal human drama. From the Dublin Uprising to covert political maneuverings, the audience is immersed in a tense and morally complex world. Liam Neeson's portrayal of Collins conveys both strategic brilliance and personal vulnerability, while Alan Rickman's depiction of Eamon de Valera adds depth to the ideological conflicts that defined the era. The cinematography captures Ireland's lush landscapes and urban tension, complementing a score that underscores both triumph and tragedy. Beyond its cinematic qualities, Michael Collins embodies the value of historical storytelling. Access to this free YouTube version allows new generations to engage with a pivotal period in history, connecting visual storytelling to historical education. Viewers can appreciate how biopics shape cultural memory and influence understanding of national identity, making this film more than entertainment. It is a portal into Ireland's past. At number 9, Michael Collins demonstrates the range of impossible-to-find films now available for free online, bridging the gap between education and cinematic experience. Its presence on YouTube reminds us that even major studio productions can find a second life when accessibility is prioritized. Number 8, Mutiny on the Bounty, 1962. At number 8, Mutiny on the Bounty takes us back to the high seas and the age of maritime adventure. This 1962 remake of the classic story stars Marlon Brando, Trevor Howard, and Richard Harris, offering a mix of stellar performances and historical spectacle. For decades, tracking down this version was a hunt for collectors, but now, thanks to free official uploads on YouTube, audiences can witness this cinematic retelling without cost or subscription. The story recounts the legendary 1789 mutiny aboard the HMS Bounty, blending tension, loyalty, and rebellion. Brando's Captain Bligh is both commanding and humanly flawed, navigating the challenges of authority under pressure. Scenes of storm-lashed decks and tropical islands are captured with a cinematic flair that showcases the film's production ambition. Dialogue and character dynamics reflect the complex moral questions inherent in leadership and defiance, all inviting viewers to consider the human stakes behind historical events. YouTube's free availability revitalizes interest in a film that has often been overshadowed by its 1935 predecessor and later adaptations. Students of cinema can explore how mid-20th century productions approached historical storytelling, while casual viewers can enjoy the drama, spectacle, and maritime adventure that make this film compelling even today. For those seeking a rare classic with rich production values and memorable performances, This version of Mutiny on the Bounty is a treasure waiting to be discovered. At number 8, it exemplifies the power of digital platforms to resurrect overlooked gems, turning hard to find into easy to watch, and ensuring that classic narratives remain accessible for modern audiences. Number 7. The Science of Sleep, 2006. Number 7 is The Science of Sleep, a surreal romantic fantasy directed by Michel Gondry and starring Gael Garcia Bernal and Charlotte Gainsbourg. The film blends reality and dreamscapes, exploring the inner life of Stéphane, a man whose imagination blurs the boundaries of everyday existence. For years, streaming or purchasing this whimsical and visually inventive film could be cumbersome, but YouTube's free upload now allows anyone to enter Gondry's meticulously crafted world at no cost. The narrative follows Stéphane's attempts to connect with his neighbor Stéphanie, as his dreams increasingly influence his waking life. Gondry's signature handmade aesthetic, stop-motion animation, collage, and practical effects creates a tactile, immersive experience. Scenes shift seamlessly between the mundane and the fantastical, producing a sense of wonder and disorientation. The film's charm lies in its human heart. It's a story of longing, creativity, and vulnerability, all expressed through imaginative visuals that linger long after the credits roll. By hosting the film for free, YouTube provides a platform for new audiences to appreciate Gondry's craft and the film's enduring emotional resonance. It also demonstrates how digital distribution can make critically acclaimed but niche films widely accessible, giving them a second chance at cultural recognition. For cinephiles and casual viewers alike, The Science of Sleep is a rare, immersive journey now available with a simple click. At number 7, it illustrates how YouTube can preserve experimental and inventive cinema, bridging the gap between rare artistry and global accessibility. Number 6. Return of the Living Dead. Part 2, 1988. Return of the Living Dead Part 2 delivers a blend of horror, comedy, and camp that few other films manage to balance. As the lesser-known sequel to the 1985 cult hit, it expands on the original's gory zombie mayhem while injecting a tongue-in-cheek sensibility. For years, physical copies were rare, and digital availability was limited, making this a truly hard-to-find film. Now, YouTube's official free upload brings it back into the hands of genre enthusiasts and curious new viewers alike. The film's story centers on a group of high school students who accidentally release a chemical capable of reanimating the dead, triggering chaos in their small town. Practical effects, zombie prosthetics, squelchy makeup, and imaginative gore create an aesthetic that defines 1980s horror. The humor is equally important, as the characters' over-the-top reactions, absurd situations, and darkly comic dialogue ensure that the film doesn't take itself too seriously. It's a rare instance where scares and laughs coexist, making it a distinctive entry in horror cinema. YouTube's free version preserves the original theatrical cut, allowing audiences to experience the film as intended. This accessibility also opens the door for academic discussion, nostalgia-driven viewing, or casual horror fans eager to see what made 1980s zombie films both terrifying and entertaining. Unlike modern CGI-heavy productions, Return of the Living Dead, Part 2 embodies the tactile, hands-on craftsmanship that fans often cherish. At number 6, the film highlights how a once elusive horror sequel can resurface thanks to online streaming, demonstrating the role of YouTube as a modern archival space for cult classics. Number 5. Critters 4, 1992. Critters 4, the final entry in the beloved 1980s to 90s sci-fi horror franchise that combined mischievous alien creatures with a small-town American backdrop. For years, this fourth installment remained obscure, often skipped by collectors and fans, and absent from mainstream streaming platforms. Its current presence on YouTube, officially uploaded and free to watch, gives both longtime fans and newcomers a chance to see how the saga concludes. In Critters 4, the mischievous Krites travel to space, adding an intergalactic twist to the franchise. The film retains the original's blend of horror, comedy, and creature effects, while introducing new characters who navigate alien-infested spaceships and unexpected peril. The practical effects are noteworthy, with puppetry and animatronics lending the creatures a tangible, menacing presence that CGI often lacks. The combination of slapstick, suspense, and sci-fi adventure keeps the audience engaged from start to finish. Beyond its entertainment value, Critters 4 exemplifies the challenges of late 20th century franchise films. Sequels often face limited distribution, making them elusive for years. YouTube's official upload not only revives access, but preserves a piece of genre history, letting viewers explore the evolution of special effects and storytelling in low-budget sci-fi horror. The film's charm lies in its earnestness and willingness to embrace camp, all appealing to those who appreciate films that don't shy away from their own absurdity. At number 5, Critters 4 demonstrates how modern streaming can restore visibility to hidden gems, turning hard to find into an experience shared by fans worldwide. Number 4. Waiting for Guffman, 1996. Waiting for Guffman stands as one of Christopher Guest's most celebrated mockumentaries, offering a comedic yet tender look at small-town ambition and theatrical obsession. Released in 1996, this film often eluded mainstream streaming, making it a rare find for decades. Today, YouTube's free upload enables new audiences to enjoy Guest's signature improvisational style, in which everyday people take theatrical dreams as seriously as life itself. The film chronicles the efforts of the residents of Blaine, Missouri, in it as they prepare a community musical in honor of their town's 150th anniversary. Performances range from painfully earnest to delightfully awkward, with characters who are oblivious to their own comedic timing. Guest's ensemble cast, many of whom would become hallmarks of his career, blurs the line between professional acting and authentic small-town charm, creating moments that feel both scripted and surprisingly real. Humor arises organically, often through misjudged artistic choices, over-the-top musical numbers, and absurdly precise local rivalries. YouTube's free availability offers a chance to appreciate the subtle craft of improvisational comedy, the dynamics of ensemble storytelling, and Guest's observational genius. Watching it in its full context, without clips or spoilers, enhances the experience, all allowing viewers to immerse themselves in Blaine's eccentric world. At number 4, Waiting for Guffman reminds us that rare films need not be inaccessible. Its presence online democratizes a comedy classic that previously required hunting through niche DVD collections or paying for limited streaming rentals. Number 3, The Mission, 1986. The Mission, a historical drama that fuses breathtaking cinematography with a moral and spiritual odyssey. Directed by Roland Joffé and starring Robert De Niro and Jeremy Irons, the film recounts the struggle of Jesuit missionaries in 18th century South America as they attempt to protect indigenous Guarani people from Portuguese and Spanish colonists. For years, access outside film festivals or high-priced VHS/DVD copies was nearly impossible. Today, YouTube offers a legal, free stream, or making this cinematic gem more accessible than ever. The Mission excels in its layered storytelling. De Niro's character, a mercenary seeking redemption, and Irons' principled priest navigate both personal transformation and broader ethical dilemmas. The film's narrative is suffused with tension between faith and pragmatism, colonizers and the colonized, duty and conscience. Each frame captures the grandeur of the South American landscapes, from mist-shrouded waterfalls to dense jungles, creating an almost spiritual backdrop to human conflict. The haunting Ennio Morricone score elevates these visuals, adding layers of emotional resonance that linger long after the credits roll. What makes the YouTube release especially valuable is its preservation of the full theatrical cut, all including scenes often excised from other streaming platforms due to runtime constraints. For educators, film historians, or casual viewers, the film provides a vivid exploration of moral ambiguity, colonial exploitation, and personal redemption. The Mission's return to free public access underscores YouTube's emerging role as a guardian of rare, culturally significant cinema. At number 3, it demonstrates that impossible to find need not remain lost, offering a rich cinematic experience to anyone willing to press play. Number 2, Deathtrap, 1982. At number 2, we have Deathtrap, a thriller that combines suspense, wit, and theatrical flair. Directed by Sidney Lumet and featuring Michael Caine and Christopher Reeve, the film is adapted from Ira Levin's hit stage play. For decades, it was a challenging title to locate legally, often requiring expensive DVD-S or scarce VHS editions. Now, YouTube provides a free, legitimate stream, allowing audiences to experience the cunning twists and intricate plot lines that have captivated theatergoers and cinephiles alike. Deathtrap unfolds in the secluded home of a once successful playwright, whose life takes a deadly turn when a younger writer's script appears more promising than his own. What follows is a labyrinth of deception, blackmail, and murder, plotted with dark humor. Lumet's direction emphasizes claustrophobia and tension, while the performances deliver a mix of elegance and menace. Michael Caine's measured cynicism contrasts sharply with Christopher Reeve's seemingly naive charm, creating an intoxicating interplay that keeps viewers guessing until the very end. The YouTube availability is crucial for preserving thrillers that might otherwise fade into obscurity. Watching the film in full context rather than snippets allows audiences to appreciate Levin's clever dialogue, the meticulous staging, and the escalating suspense that defines classic thrillers of the era. For fans of psychological tension, dark comedy, or stage-to-screen adaptations, Deathtrap is a masterclass in storytelling. At number 2, it proves that even decades-old thrillers can find a second life on modern platforms, bringing rare, high-quality cinema to anyone with an internet connection. Number 1. Dungeons & Dragons, 2000. Topping our list. At number 1 is Dungeons & Dragons, the cult favorite fantasy film released in 2000. Often derided upon release for its uneven effects and narrative liberties, the film nonetheless has earned a devoted following over the years. Tracking down a legal copy was a challenge for decades, with DVD editions long out of print. Today, YouTube offers the movie officially and free, giving audiences a chance to explore this adventurous world without subscription fees. The story follows a motley group of adventurers seeking to recover a stolen magical artifact. While critics initially mocked the plot's simplicity and production quirks, the film's charm lies in its earnestness. From the brightly colored medieval sets to the elaborate costumes and campy magical effects, Dungeons & Dragons is a nostalgic trip for anyone who grew up enamored with tabletop RPGs. Characters such as the rogue, the sorceress, and the paladin bring humor, bravery, and occasional melodrama to the screen, creating a dynamic ensemble reminiscent of the role-playing campaigns it honors. YouTube's free stream preserves the film in its entirety, allowing viewers to engage with a film that blends fantasy adventure, humor, and early 2000s CGI experimentation. For fans of cult cinema, nostalgic gamers, or viewers curious about the era's genre filmmaking, Dungeons & Dragons is both a spectacle and a curiosity. At number 1, it embodies the essence of impossible-to-find films that YouTube has now made accessible, proving that even the most overlooked titles can find a second life and a new audience. From Eegah to Dungeons & Dragons, these 12 films show that rarity no longer means inaccessibility. YouTube has quietly restored access to cinematic treasures once lost or hard to find, offering a chance for new audiences to explore, learn, and revel in stories previously hidden from mainstream view.